let's see how this all goes. We're gonna be opening this today. What we get? It's the Secret Lair. Um, I forget the name of it. We'll see in here. There's a commander and some cards that go with it that it came with, and then it's got a mystery booster 2 box. And this is all kind of for the... Figured it would be. Too far? It's for the Magic Con kind of festival at home type thing. So we're just gonna peek around in it, open it up, see what we find. Looks like everything was not borked and is still fixed from yesterday, so that's endless. Here, this first. Looks like what these are there. I think these are some test cards. Gotta remember how this camera works. It's not an actual overhead camera. It's still behind my monitor, but it's got a cool little desktop mode that lets it kind of angle down, so you can see like it's kind of stretched, but it is really cool how that works. I'm gonna get into this. Cool artwork. Gonna be me all day. Pack opening plastics ASMR and struggling to open these things. Hey. The box out of the way for a second. Not sure how, if I set this up properly to see, but so land and city. Look like I have them down here. It's probably too far away, right? What? Let's see what I can do. Zoom in a bit. How far does this camera zoom? Hello, Krev. I wish you the best of luck with your homework. This probably isn't going to be a long stream unless it literally takes me forever to open all these, but I'm just going to be opening a lot of Magic cards, so... Do you think that looks fine? Under. Yeah, these cards were the ones it was advertised with. That's right, the first sliver. Now this is gonna make me want to make a sliver deck though, which is a problem. I need to remember where I need to put these. Honestly, that kind of looks like shit, at least on OBS. How does it look on the stream? I'm zoomed in so far with it. I don't know if there's anything else I can do. First time actually using this camera or anything. Well, did something to it. Oh, now it's going to show my face. Hello, everybody. Trying to see if I could do anything about the resolution, but I'm just going to lose resolution when I zoom in. Is it like frozen now? And it switched back to me again. With this mode. Love it. Good? Good camera. Yes, hi upside down me. The camera loves to reset itself when you're messing with any of the settings. No, I'm just, so I wanted you to be able to see the cards better, so I was zooming in, and of course when you zoom in, you lose resolution, so I was trying to maybe come up with something else, but I think this is just gonna how it's gonna be right here. Maybe if I at least throw brightness up a bit. Helps a little bit. Just go with it. We have a Sarah the Benevolent. Oh, I could make an interesting angel. I'm going to put some of these that are at least the ones that aren't in the mystery booster box, most of them in sleeves. Just to have them in sleeves. And then put cards and sleeves from the booster box if I like them. And then later, I'm going to spend hours getting all of these cataloged in my collection so I know where they are and if I have them for when I am building decks. It's over there. Okay. The next part of the box that I got was the actual secret layer part of it. It's Animar, I don't know, and Friends, Rainbow Foil Edition. Thank you for being part of Secret Lair. I still don't know where they are on camera, just set them down in front of me. Mole Drifter. Still easier for me to just hold them. Creature Elemental, Flying. Enders, draw 2 cards and invoke 2, that's bad. I love All Will Be One. I want to try to use this. Just need a counters deck for this to really do anything, which I don't currently have one. Benevolent Hydra, and I guess all of these cards are meant to go with like Anmar, I think. Whole point of the secret layer. Got an Ancient. I almost want to put this card in my Karlach deck, and I'm gonna think about it. Because I have a Karlach deck that uses Raised by Giants as its background, so you have 2 commanders. Karlach's red, Raised by Giants is green, so you can have red and green cards in the commander deck, and the whole point of the deck is big and stompy, and you get 2 attack phases with her. So you get this card out, whenever you cast a spell, you may put a +1/+1 counter on the creature at the beginning of your upkeep. You may move any +1/+1 counters from this creature onto other creatures. So I can just pump her up, or any of the other large creatures that are in that deck, even more with this guy. Be interesting. And then here's actually Anmar. All of these, like, they put these all together in a Secret Lair to build a commander deck with him as commander, and then these as cards in the deck, so. But he has protection from white and black. Whenever you cast a creature spell, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. This is just another big and stompy deck too. Creatures spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on. Oh, that's actually kind of stupid. Oh, that could be very stupid. I like it. Just extra little guy here. He doesn't go with them per se, but little zombie guy. All these in sleeves, and then we'll move on to the booster box. Oh god, all the sleeves fell out. Mystery 2 booster box, I guess is just, I've never opened one before. I guess it's just cards from random sets. We'll see what we get. We're gonna have a lot of cards. Get all the plastic wrap off now. I want to look at something actually with this camera. One moment. I had an idea. Let me see if it works. I had a feeling that's what was happening. That looks better. Oh, this camera is a 4K camera, but I just noticed in the preview that OBS was trying to had it at 1080p, and then the canvas that I have streaming is 2K, so I was able to figure out how to force the settings to be 4K. So now it's in 4K resolution. That looks a little bit better, right? Cards. Oh yeah. Still a little grainy because I'm zoomed in, but I think that's better. Yeah, let's get into this. We open you. How do we open you? Is this supposed to be like a... Yeah, it's a pull tab. Yeah, 15 cards each. We got a lot. Go with this row first. I don't know how you're supposed to open these, so I'm not going to be able to... I mean, actually, I suppose I'll figure it out of where, if there are... I don't even know if these have guaranteed... Do you have guaranteed rares? 1 to 3 rares or higher. They are set up in a way to at least kind of do the whole social media streamer, whatever, look what card I got thing. The angle that this camera's at is just messing with my brain on where I'm supposed to have things. Empty. A lot of these cards I've never seen before, too. Protection from colors of permanents you control. Interesting. This one's from M15. Cool, Boneweaver Giant. Verbosity. Ooh. Oh, I love these older style border ones. Legacy's Allure. In your upkeep, you may put a treasure counter on Legacy Allure. Sacrifice Legacy Allure, permanently gain control of target creature with power no greater than the number of treasure counters. Oh, that's horrible. Love it. CS Public Execution. Oh wow, we're all the way back to M13 with this one. Target creature and opponent controls. Each other creature that player controls is -2, -0. Love it. Torch Breath. This is another one to put into Karlach. Stompy. Plus, creature gains +X/+X and gains hexproof and indestructible until the end of turn. That's good. Here's my rare. Or is that a rare? Oh no, that's not a rare symbol. It's just the background made me think that was gold. It's not. Oh, first one's a mythic. First pack I get a mythic rare. I'll take that. Blind Vigilance. Whenever a creature with Defender enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Each creature you control with Defender assigns combat damage equals to its toughness rather than its power, and can attack as though it didn't have Defender. Okay, so this is the commander, and you just fill the deck with walls, and then you just fight everybody with walls. I love that. He's blue, white, green. White border card, Mutilate. Oh, Final Fortune's a fun card. It's an instant. Take an extra turn after this one. At the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. So you play this when you know you can kill them if you had one more turn, and are afraid that they can kill you before you get to that turn. I love that. And then there's a test card, Snap Judgment. I think all of the mystery booster packs have a test card in them, but I'm not sure if it's guaranteed or not, but it's cool. Player who wins this game also wins the match. This is for like the standard best of 3 games. Oh, this, you make them quit with this spell. A player may concede the game at any time. If the game ends while this spell is on the stack, it never resolves. And if it never resolves, that means that you don't win the match. You get to play another game. I can see why this is a test card. That's silly. Should try to like sort these while I'm doing this, but we all know that's not gonna happen. I will actually be here for hours. I'm already happy about this one. I love Banishing Light. This is, I've been trying to figure out a commander to make at least a mono white, if not white and other colored deck, because I don't have one. Banishing Light's helping me figure out that I really want to make that deck. The Flock. Beckoner. Morbid Opportunist. Nice. Dragon. Oh, Haywire Might's fantastic too. Rotting Regisaur. Wait, he's a 3 cost 7/6? Oh god. Okay. Oh nice, an Ash Baron. It's a white border, but what the full rules around white border is, I don't think you can take them to competitions, but I don't think they're a problem in like casual play. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but either way, Ash Barons is cool. This is Bauble. Look at a card at random in target player's hand. You draw a card at the beginning of your next turn's upkeep. 0 cost, you get to see something in your hand and you get an extra card. This ability when becomes a creature enchantment that reads enchanted creature gains flanking instead of creature. Move flanking twisted onto target creature. I pay mountain to end this effect. I don't know what this card means. Okay. Angelic Exaltation, Adamant Will, Propulsion's good. Dream Will, Counterspell, counter target spell unless it's controlled pays 3, or look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one of them into your hand and the rest in the bottom. So it's a counterspell or a scry, whatever you need, but it's a counterspell where they have to do a little bit more to stop you. Wall of Blood. That's interesting. I've never seen a wall that doesn't have Defender. I wonder if this is before they printed Defender, because walls can attack is Defender. I'd have to look up the rules on if this guy is considered to have Defender now. is how you use this too, because if walls can't attack, you pay 1 life and he gets +1/+1, so then he has... I mean, I guess it would just kill whatever you're blocking, or it could do damage to whatever you're blocking. Hate Goblin Instigator because I hate Goblin cards, but it's cool that I have one now. Book the Flames is cool. Praxis Fall. Montreader Elk. Power Conduit. Haunt of Hightower. Cool commander. Mono black. Colossal Dreadmaw. I think I have a Colossal Dreadmaw, but it's cool to have this version of it. Creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield. Players can't cast spells from graveyards or libraries. This shuts down a few different playstyles. That's horrible. These cards are interesting. Or Priest of... Keep giving me white cards, they're definitely giving me at least ammunition to build a deck. Just still need to find a commander I want to build around. Whenever a Cephalid Illusionist becomes the target of a spell or ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Pay an island and 2 and tap. This turn, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to and dealt by target creature you control. Interesting. I'm not sure about this card. Oh, love this for commander. You can only have 1 card, 1 of each card in a commander deck, but this guy, you may have Body Double enter the battlefield as a copy of any creature card in your graveyard. Love it. Mad Auntie. That's funny. Generate on goblins, that's cool. Lion Spectre. Plus charge. Enlarge. Target creature gets 7/7/7. Gains trample. And it must be blocked. Art is a giant kitty. Theosis. History. There's a black-white commander right there. Death Touch, sacrifice another creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. Sacrifice play black and white. One other color. Sacrifice creature and exile target non-land permanent. Activate this ability if you have at least 10 life or more than your starting life total. So yeah, lifelink Death Touch deck. With regeneration or recursion or some type, so you can sack your creatures and then bring them back. Just keep blowing them up. You blow up everybody else. Oh, wish. No. You may play a card you own from outside of the game this turn. Oh, Doomsday, even better. Search your library and graveyard for 5 cards and exile the rest. Put the chosen card on the top of your library in any order. You lose half your life rounded up. So you mill yourself down to 5 cards. You lose half your life. But if you build the deck correctly, you have the exact cards you need and you win. Today is interesting. Duelist Convocation International. What are these cards? Whenever Duelist Convocation International enters the battlefield, choose a 10-digit number at random and write it down. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a mana value with one or more uncrossed digits in the chosen number, cross out one of those digits and draw a card. Then if all 10 digits are crossed out, you win the game. Oh. That's interesting. And stupid, but interesting. Nonsense. The gateway. Offer you can't refuse. Counter target non-creature spell. Its controller creates 2 treasure tokens. 1 cost counter, but gives... They want me to build a silver deck. Now I have the Crypt Silver too. All slivers have regenerate. Or tap to regenerate target sliver. Technically a sliver deck with first sliver counts as a white deck too, right? Because it has all colors. Creature gains shadow until the end of the turn. I don't know what shadow is. The creature can block or be blocked by only creatures with shadow. Oh. That's cool. Damage can't be prevented this turn. So, as a red card, that is also terrifying. Silver Dagger. Enchanted creature has tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target player. You draw a card. Okay. Cool. Oh, nice, a Lotus Petal. It's the Praetor. Choose 1 at random. Create a token that's a copy of the chosen card. Oh, that's a stupid ass test card. Jesus Christ. I don't know how you choose 1 at random, and I don't know how that's supposed to work, but you just get to make an Elesh Norn, a Jin-Gitaxias, a Shellerid, an Urabask, I don't know how to say his name, a Vorinclex, or an Ebon Praetor. That is so broken. I don't care if it costs 6, you just get, that's... All of those cards can win the game immediately. Or pretty much. You can shut down everybody else from doing anything with those cards. And then you put this in a deck that just has some of those cards in it in the first place? Ugh. I want to know what they think when they make some of these test cards. Like, because so far I haven't seen one where I'm just like, yeah, that would make a good real card. No, that's just silly. But they're cool to have. Part of the idea with the mystery booster boxes is you're supposed to do a draft with them. So you play those cards anyways, and then it just causes chaos at the draft party. Fiend's Informant. Unicorn. Oh wow, this card is just, you just pay 1 life and you regenerate it. Typically, a lot of the times it's like regenerate a type of creature. Or does it mean this thing regenerates? Probably means this thing regenerates, doesn't it? Since it's a ghost. Interesting. This is good for a Saproling deck. Just good to create Saprolings via landfall. Oh cool, I got a Japanese card. I didn't even know Japanese cards could be in this. I don't know what this guy is. I'm gonna set him aside and figure that out in a moment. Contaminant Priest. Mind Break Trap. That's horrible. It costs 2, but if an opponent casts 3 or more spells, you may pay 0 and exile any number of target spells. Yeah, like this. Like, who comes up with this test card and thinks that they're actually going to print this as a not a test card? You may draw cards from anywhere in your library. You don't get to look at them or reorder them while doing so. You literally play this card and then you just pick up your deck and be like, I'm gonna take this one out of the middle. It's weird. And they called it Heart of the Duelist too. Like, are Yu-Gi-Oh reference much? Okay, so what is this guy? I got my phone. It'll translate. Good. Gigantosaurus? I don't know how to say that. What does it do? Oh, that's just flavor text. It doesn't even have an ability. It's just a 10/10. For 5 forests. Okay. I'll take that. Big stompy boy. Angel. 5 Angel for 4 is a interesting choice, but I guess if you need a big blocker. Injector Crocodile? Phyrexian Crocodile. When Injected Crocodile dies, incubate 3. It has Swamp Cycling. Interesting. Magma. These kind of cards just always get me. It costs 1 mountain and whatever you want to pay for X, and Blaze just deals X damage to any one creature or player. So if you have a bunch of mana and you're just like, okay, well, you're dead now. This land in with Insidious. Oh, what is it called? I use it on one of my decks on Magic the Gathering Arena all the time. That creates plants and makes plants very large. And you just can make more plants with this land too. Opulent Palace. Land. It is a tap land. It still taps for 3 different colors. It's never a bad thing. Oh, and we just have a Cataclysm now too. Cool. Each player chooses from among the permanents he or she controls an artifact, a creature, an enchantment, and a land, then sacrifices the rest. This is literally for the ultimate ability of the Liliana card that I like. That costs 12 loyalty on her. The only difference is this makes every player do it, and not with Liliana, she just targets one player and it doesn't affect you. But this is the pod looks at you after this and says, you really wanted to play for another 2 hours, didn't you? Because you set everybody back to 1 land, 1 enchantment, 1 creature, 1 artifact. That's... People don't play with you after you play this card. It's a cool equipment card too. Okay, I finally found a test card that isn't busted. This is a good card. It has Ascend, which all Ascend means is you control 10 or more permanents, and you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. And the land taps for a forest, an island, or a mountain, and if you don't have the City's Blessing, you lose 1 life. There are plenty of lands that let you tap for stuff in exchange for life, and then this one just adds on the City's Blessing, and then that stops happening. This is a good card. It's not weird, it's not broken. We have found one. Last pack of that stack. First strike. Overseer, it's nice to have one of those. The mind. Copy your commander with this card. Create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, except the token has flying and isn't legendary. If the creature is legendary. The legendary rule goes away, so you can just have 2 commanders. I wish I remember what Irenicus does, because Irenicus is a commander, a legendary creature. Copy him. I have one. It was in the Baldur's Gate set too. They reprinted it. Oh wait, no, this is from Baldur's Gate. That would explain it. That is the Baldur's Gate symbol. Why I recognize that. I didn't honestly know I could get Baldur's Gate cards in this. Power word kill. Right target non-angel, non-demon, non-devil, and non-dragon creature. These really can have cards from about any set. Obviously not the new ones, but it is a bit more exciting than opening up a set you know what's going to be in there. All in Blight Druids, okay. I've never seen a card like this before. I've never seen the level up mechanic. She starts out as a 1/1, I would assume? Wait, no, it says... I wonder if she starts out as the 1/1 there, and it says level up, and you pay that cost. Put a level up counter on this, and your level up only as a sorcery, and then when you're level 1 through 4, she also taps for 2 for he? I can't tell, it's an elf. Can't tell by the name either. So the Tree Speaker adds 2 mana to your mana pool, and then once you get to level 5, elves you control, all of them add 2 mana to your mana pool and becomes a 1/4. I like that. I also like Painted Bluffs a lot. Add colorless to your mana pool, or pay 1 and tap to add 1 color of, or 1 of any color to your mana pool. Painted Bluffs is amazing. And goblins. Never making a goblin deck. You may return an island control to its owner's hand rather than pay this spell's mana cost. Oh, you just get to take one of your islands back and then counter spell somebody. Okay. Back. At the beginning... As the rack enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. At the beginning of the chosen player's upkeep, the rack deals X damage to that player, where X is 3 minus the number of cards in their hand. If you're playing against somebody who is emptying their hand a lot, you put them on the rack. Creepy Crawler. Spider with Menace and Reach. 2/4. It deals combat damage to a player who is afraid of you. See, this is what I'm talking about. We've gotten back into the weird test cards. That player discards a card and you draw a card. An opponent is afraid of you if a horror, nightmare, enchantment, or face-down creature you control enters the battlefield or attack them this turn. Okay, that makes it a little less weird. I'm surprised, and I would have to look it up. Did they actually print this card for, oh shit, what was the latest set that came out? Duskmourn. Because Duskmourn had all of this kind of... That was the whole point of it, it was horror stuff. We'll go good with that. Good. Take longer for me to catalog all these cards than it is for the stream to actually be, but the stream has so far been the length I thought it would be. I thought this would take like an hour and a half, probably. And head pat me while I'm opening cards. Hand of Honor. Reality Shift. Hand of Death. Destroy any one creature that isn't black. Cry Goblin. Nice. Force one of your big creatures to kill one of their creatures, and then the trample still happens. A lot of the times fight mechanics don't do that. Skull Muncher. Lovely. That's a nice looking card. Paradise Mantle? Equipped a creature has add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. I like that, and it's a 0 cost to play it, and then 1 cost to equipped. It's a good card. Oh, I have a Gideon. Gideon, are you? So, +1 loyalty. Becomes a 5/5 human soldier ally creature with indestructible. Still planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt. Oh, okay, this is the one that I get thrown at me in Arena all the time that I can't stand fighting against. Greater Good is also nice. Sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, then discard 3. They're weird test card. What's next here? Still trying to figure out a good place to hold these that isn't going to cause me pain too. This Caller. Havoc Demon. Well, that's horrible. When Havoc Demon dies, all creatures get -5/-5 until the end of turn. Blow up everything. Good Pact is good too. What's this art? Mayhem Devil. Nexus of Fate. Take an extra turn after this one. If Nexus of Fate would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, reveal Nexus of Fate and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. Oh, so you just get to do this again if you draw it again. Oh. Fetch card. Rot Hulk. What now? Deleted version of Kozilek? You can pay the Phyrexian mana for him. When you cast this spell, each opponent gets 2 poison counters. Then each opponent with more than 2 cards in hand discards cards equal to the difference. And it has... Wait, is that Annihil Infect? They shoved Annihilate and Infect together. When this creature attacks, defending player sacrifices a permanent for each poison counter they have. And it's a 12/12. So typically, Infect just means they get poison counters. Is Infect poison counters instead of damage? I don't remember. And then Annihilate is, if it has like Annihilate 2, when they take damage from you, you have to sacrifice 2 permanents. And now they just kind of mixed them together with this test card. That's disgusting. And I love it. This Kozilek is cool. There's going to be an ad starting, so I will stop for a second. It's... The whole point is to watch me open the cards, so I want the ad to break that. So I'm just going to throw the be right back screen on for a second, and then I'm back in 3 minutes. Okay, I'm back. I got the music back to the right level. Another pack and we go. Clarion Spirit, Glimmer Point Stag. Exile another target permanent, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, okay. Just cool looking counter spell, False Summoning. Always love those. Oh, and another counter spell. Lies. Cycling. Let's act. Interesting. This card would be better if it wasn't a 3 cost. Entirely horrible. Here's a sorcery that creates a 3/3 elephant. Rebound. If you cast the spell from your hand, exile it. As it resolves at the beginning of your next upkeep, you may cast this card from exile without paying its mana cost. Oh, so you just you create an elephant, and then next turn you just get a free elephant. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic too. Rapid Vigor. Just regenerate each creature you control. Okay, I'm liking the lands we're getting out of this so far. Now we have a Nomad Outpost too. It's kind of awesome. Okay, I love that I have one of these, and I will put this in whatever deck I make that's white finally. But this is my least favorite card in all of Magic. Creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, you gain 1 life. I hate this card. Everybody plays this in Arena. Everybody. But I will also play this card because it's busted. Okay, what is this? Whiteout. What is this? All creatures lose flying until the end of turn. Sacrifice a snow land. Return whiteout from your graveyard to your hand. That's funny. Mind Twist. Herding Town NPC. Each creature card in your hand has pay 1 in a forest adventure sorcery named Fetch Herbs. With you gain 2 life. Then so you just get 2 life with that adventure, and then each creature card you cast from exile enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Interesting. Get to go on a fetch quest. Got a Silver Knight. Honestly, this has given just a lot of good white cards in it. First Strike and protection from red. Doggo. fact that we got a Japanese card too is awesome. And return target creature to owner's hand, untap 2 lands. Oh, that's so busted. So you play this, you pay 2 lands, you return their target creature, and then they play again, and guess what? Now you have two open mana to counterspell them. Way to piss somebody off right there. Scourge or Scourge familiar? I'm gonna go with Scourge. Flying, choose and discard a card. Add Swamp to your mana pool. Play this ability as a mana source. Does that mean you get to play that as your land for turn? I've never seen that language before on a card. Also don't know what set that is with 2 gears. Desecration. Or no, sorry, not desecration, desertion. I can't read today. Reliquary Tower. I'm loving the lands I'm getting from these cards. You have no maximum hand size and it adds a colorless. Enough out. Nice artwork of Liliana on it. Yeah, Yawgmoth's Day Planner. Tap, pay 2 life, and you add 2 swamp. You may cast spells from your graveyard. Only mana produced by abilities that cause you to lose life may be spent to cast them in this way. Like this. A card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere exiled instead. Like that's another card that actually isn't too broken. I'm sure you could figure out a way to break it, but that at least makes sense as a card. So 2 okay level. I don't ever touch that dial because I'm normally not playing music. Is the alarm? Of knowledge. Draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control. That's cool. It's expensive for 5, but you already have something big out and you need to get a lot of cards. Oh, cool. Okay, now I need to look at something. Been doing like free-to-play Boxed, which is like a site where you just kind of roll. You can get gems and you roll on essentially getting cards. And you can you win the cards and then you can have them actually ship you the real cards. So instead of opening like physical packs like I'm doing here, you open digital packs and then you can get the cards. And I'm pretty sure when I say free to play, they have like a little button that you can click every hour or every half an hour just to get like 2 to 12 gems, whatever. And yeah, that's what I thought. I have recently gotten a Shellerid's Edict in my inventory I can probably just go sell that back later and roll for other things, because now I have one. I mean, I could always use more than one, I suppose. But I don't plan on making that many decks, because that's expensive, and I still have yet to play with anybody with all the commander decks I have. So I need to work on that first, probably, but I just had to go double check that real fast now that I'm thinking about it. Cool, we got a Sheoldred's Edict. I like Sheoldred's Edict. I use this card all the time in black decks in Arena. You get to have the opponent choose to sacrifice a non-token creature, a creature token, or a planeswalker. I like that. Signal Pest. Got a possible red-green commander here. What do you do? Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, untap target creature, then investigate. Oh. And then Friends Forever. You can have 2 commanders if both have Friends Forever. It's another companion or background mechanic where you can have more than one commander. I don't have any other cards that have Friends Forever, but that's where I could find one. That's cool, because depending on what other cards have Friends Forever, you could have a commander deck with a lot of color possibilities, because this guy gives you red-green. I like that. Interesting. Hollow one. That's cool too. Flavor Disaster. When Flavor Disaster enters the battlefield, or when it's turned face up, target creature gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is Flavor Disaster's power. Happens before. Negamorph. You may cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3. Turn it face up at any time for its Negamorph cost, and put a -1/-1 counter on it. Oh, instead of Megamorph, it's negative, so yeah. I think my playlist stopped. Moment. Go again. Sure, I could have found better music for this, but I could not think of what to find without risking it muted somewhere, and I was just gonna get annoyed by it, so I'm like, fuck it, we just do this. Okay, Armored Ascension is thick. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each planes you control and has flying. I love that. Creature becomes blue until the end of turn. Interesting. Does this guy go in my rat deck? His ninjutsu's kind of broken. Return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card onto the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. So you just get a free damage to go through. Enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains death, touch, and lifelink until the end of turn. So then not only do, if you ninjutsu him, do you get to just hit somebody for 3. but one of your other creatures gets Death Touch and Lifelink, so whatever they were blocked by dies, and you gain... He might... I don't know. I have a Wick deck, and rats are kind of the thing there. I also have some very big creatures in it because of how Wick works. He has an ability where he can throw snails, and all that does is the snail's power does damage to all the opponents. And I have cards to make other creatures into snails. There's already big creatures in there. I gotta think about putting him in that instead. Cool Baldur's Gate card. I think I actually have this in Karlach's deck already. I don't remember. Well, that's cool. Artifact creature Scarecrow. You tap him, you add 1 mana of any color, or you can target creature becomes the color or colors of your choice until the end of turn. That's cool. Cool, we have one of the double cards. So you can either play Insult, which is a sorcery that damage can't be prevented this turn. If a source you control would deal damage this turn, it deals double damage. Or Injury, it has Aftermath. Cast this spell only from the graveyard, so you cast Insult first, it goes to the graveyard, and then later you can cast Injury. And Injury deals 2 damage to target creature or 2 damage to target player. So, Insult to Injury. This should go in my Karlach deck. I could 1-tap somebody from full health, like from the start of the... I mean, not the start of the game, I would need a lot to get everything out, but if they still had 40 health, I could 1-tap them with this card. And how Karlach works. Brain Freeze. Great player mills 3 cards, and it has Storm. Oh, okay. Let's see. Vasian's Collar, the symbol of her church. Equipped creature can't attack, block, or transform, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Shackle, 3. So for 3 of any color, attach target creature you don't control. Okay, like that is also not a unreasonable. Aerial Responder, Angelic Page. Target attacking or blocking creature gets +1/+1 till the end of turn. Frost Trickster, also cool. Nice to have one of these too. I use this all the time in Arena. This would make me want to make a deck that will utilize Proliferate the correct way. Epic Downfall. Slitter. Oh, another rat ninja with ninjutsu. I'm just about to put a whole bunch of rat ninjas into the deck that I already have. Maybe. Lava Hounds is unaffected by summoning sickness. You could just say it has haste. That's probably what they moved to. I'm assuming this is an old card. When Lava Hound comes into play, it deals 4 damage to you. Ouch. Okay. Another cool land. Gonna add swamp or mountain. Interesting construct. A counter spell that is paid with Phyrexian mana. Oh, it says it's 1 blue. You can use life. It's either 1 blue mana or 2 life. Play that. Counter target spell with mana value of 1. So it's a small counter spell, but still. I like that. That's cool too. Tap elf. Oh, here you go. Utri Pauper Otter. Legendary creature, Elemental Otter. Companion, your starting deck contains no cards with a silver, gold, orange, or purple expansion symbol. Oh, it's for Pauper decks. That's why it's called the Pauper Otter. It only contains commons and uncommons. If this card is your chosen companion, you may put it into your hand from the outside of the game for 3 as a sorcery. When it enters the battlefield, discard your hand and draw 3 cards. This is also a card that is reasonable as well, especially because Pauper is a pretty big format too. And plus it's an otter, so. Shapeshifter. Imposter of the Sixth Pride. Oh, another shapeshifter, nice. Command the Unsummoning. Play Command the Unsummoning only after you're attacked before you declare Interceptors. Wow, this is an old... Turn 1 or 2 attacking creatures to their owner hand. Merciless Executioner is never a bad thing to have. Deal. You draw 2 cards, your opponent discards 2 cards, each player loses 2 life. That's a good red card. Ancient Silverback. Regenerate. What in the world? Never seen a card like this before. Orakai Egg Watcher. Forest in 2. Okay, or tap it, put a 1/1 green snake creature token into play. If you control 10 or more creatures, flip Ogre or Orakai. Orchi? Orchi? I don't know. Flip the Egg Watcher. Flip him. It becomes Shadako Broodmistress. With a swamp, with a forest, you sacrifice a creature, and target creature gets +3/+3 until the end of turn. I've never seen a card in this format before. Pure Genius. Arcanist, the Omnipotent. Okay, well, I need what does that mean? You can tap this for colorless, or you pay 2 and tap it, it becomes a copy of a target land except it has this ability. So you're just copying any other land, and then can also pay 2 and tap that land to copy any other land, and then pay 2 and tap that to copy any other land. That's how that works, right? And then they will always have that ability, so next turn you can copy even more lands. Oh. Okay. For a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability. An opponent controls destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. Okay. Rin and Seri, inseparable. Dog Cat Scientist. Cat dog. All cats you control are dogs in addition to their other types. All dogs you control are cats in addition to their other types. Cats and dogs you control have haste. Pick it. Okay, we're on to the last group of them. Yeah, I'm not sure I needed those memories today. Of a cat dog. Got another sliver. We got the ward sliver this time. Ward sliver comes into play, choose a color. All slivers have protection from the chosen color. Very nice. Okay, I definitely need to figure out a commander to build an angel deck, because Angel Vitality. Good Slumber. Bound Geist. Vicious Thief. Addictive Vampire. Oh. Honor of God Pharaoh. Make a army with this guy, zombie army. Bolt Bend. Great Oak Guardian. Hierarch. Use a 1-drop. It's exalted. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, the creature gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. It's just a mana force. Green, white, or blue. That's cool. Thornblight Staff. Equipped creature has pay 2 and tap. This creature deals 1 damage to any target, and whenever a creature dies, untap this creature. Whenever a shaman creature enters the battlefield, you may attach Thornblight Staff to it. So you just get to attach it for free instead of paying that 4 equip cost. I like Thornblight Staff. Ball Lightning. Like that too. Ball Haste at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice Ball Lightning. You just smack them with a 6/1 creature, and then, oof. But 6/1 creature for 3 mana's not bad. Okay, so there's a card called Doubling Season. Well, this is Halving Season. If an opponent would create one or more tokens, they create half that many of each of those kinds of tokens instead rounded down. If an opponent would put one or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half as many of each of those types of counters on that permanent or player instead rounded down. So it literally does the exact opposite of Doubling Season. Because a Doubling Season, if yourself creates tokens or if yourself puts on counters, you get to double the amount. Or you get to have the amount of somebody else. And Doubling Season's a green card. It would make sense that Halving Season is a black. It's funny. I actually really want this to be a card. Centaur. Fanatical Devotion. Regenerate Source. Watcher from Tomorrow. Divide by 0. Turn target spell or permanent with a mana value of 1 or greater to its owner's hand. And you get to learn. And learning is searching for outside the game for a lesson card. Interesting. I don't think I own any cards that have lesson on them though, so. Bounty's good. Werebear. 2 cost 1/1 that can add to your mana pool, and it has threshold. As long as you have 7 or more cards in your graveyard, it becomes a 3/3. Or no, it gets a +3/+3, so it becomes a 4/4. This might have to go into Big Stompy Karlach deck too. Trample when Earthshaker Giant enters the battlefield. Other creatures you control get +3/+3 and gain trample until the end of turn. Yeah, it essentially is Groot. That is disgusting. So what Karlach does is her ability allows you to take a second combat phase after your first. And I have it paired with Raised by Giants, which makes her a 10/10. So I can already swing 20 with her in one go. I have other big creatures in that deck, and then this guy comes in and everything else just gets +3/+3 and has trample. You are also going over in that pile. Each player can't cast more than one spell each turn. Oh, people hate you if you play this card. Non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Can we say stacks anybody? That's horrible. Another card where your friendly pod will be like, you can't play with us anymore. Demonic Consultation. Choose a card name, exile the top 6 cards of your library, then reveal the cards from the top of your library until you reveal a card with the chosen name. Put that card into your hand and exile all the cards revealed this way. But you better hope that you don't... The top 6 cards isn't the card that you named, because otherwise you just decked yourself out. That's also probably why it costs 1, and it's always risky making a pact with a demon, so... Maestro's totally safe hideout. Land with casualty 2. As the land enters you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. If you do, create a token that is a copy of this land. And it enters the battlefield tapped, and you can tap it for a swamp, island, or mountain. That's an okay land too. That's interesting. You could do some cool stuff with that. Next up, Imperial Oath. Evangel of Heliod. It enters the battlefield, put a number of 1/1 white soldier creature tokens onto the battlefield equal to your devotion to white. Like that. Feign Death is a good card. Duper. Target opponent discards a card at random, then chooses and discards a card. Oh, so they have to discard one at random, and then they have to discard one that they actually choose to discard? Okay. That's cool. Crag Smasher Yeti. It's mountain cycling. You discard the card. Or you pay 2, you discard the card, search your library for a mountain card. Or backup to... When this creature enters the battlefield, put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. If that's another creature, it gains the following ability until end of turn. Trample. Like, what's the following ability? Keep reading. The following thing is trample. +1/+1 counter on target creature. Morbid, put 3 +1/+1 counters on that creature instead if a creature died this turn. This is a fantastic artifact. Especially if you have a monocolor deck. Bonus round. Snow. I don't know. Oh no, I do have a couple snow-covered lands. I do not have enough to actually make a deck with. But it's cool to have a white-bordered snow land. Lanes. Mana short. Tap all lands target player controls, and that player loses all unspent mana. Ew. And that's a 3? Ew. Your wish is my command. You cast an instant or sorcery spell from your sideboard. You cast a model spell this way. Modal spell. You may choose an additional mode. A modal spell lets you choose one or more modes from a bulleted list. That is also not an unreasonable card. Or Cartographer. Last Breath. Remove target creature with 2 or less power from the game. Its controller or life. Interesting. Greater. Mangler, Sure Strike, good sales. We have a Ninja Turtle. Like an action, it's a turtle ninja. Kappa Tech Wrecker. Enters the battlefield with a death touch counter on it. It has ninjutsu. When Kappa Tech Wrecker deals combat damage to a player, you may remove a death touch counter from it. When you do, exile target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Oh, that's cool. So instead of like having death touch to kill creatures, you expend the death touch to get rid of an artifact or enchantment, which normally wouldn't be the case. I like that. I have an arrogant worm. Oh, it has madness. You may play this card for its madness cost at the time you discard it from your hand. So you can, it becomes a 3 cost instead of a 5 cost. You discard it. Crystal Vein. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or you sacrifice it and add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. Not bad land either. Brightling. It's a 3/3 that costs 3. And then you can pay 1 plane for it to gain vigilance, 1 plane for it to gain lifelink, 1 for it to be returned to its owner's hand, or 1 of any color to give it a +1/+1 or +1 -1 and a -1 +1 until the end of turn. That's interesting. A land creature. Add Arbiter isn't a spell, because it's the land, so that makes sense. It's affected by summoning sickness, and it has tap to add forest. So you get to play this guy as your land for turn, and it's just a 1/1 creature that you can swing out too. But it does have summoning sickness, because it, yeah, that's cool. Relic of Protogenesis, or Progenitus. I just say words, I can't speak. Target player exiles a card from their graveyard. If you exile it, you exile all graveyards, and then you draw a card. Okay. Omnipresent Imposter. Changeling. Omnipresent Imposter has all card names? As you search your library for 1 or more cards, you may choose Omnipresent Imposter as one of those cards. For example, if you search for 2 land cards, you may find Omnipresent Imposter and a land card. Interesting. They would have to clarify rules on this, because you say it has all card names, and then you specifically give instructions about finding it for searching. So does it only have card names for searching? Because there are other implications for this thing having all card names and other interactions. It's another one of those weird test cards. Four more packs to go. Blade Paladin's a good card. As long as you have 25 or more life, it has double strike. Purple Shell Changeling. Annex. What does that even mean? It is an enchant land. You control enchanted land. What does that mean? That mean all of your lands are also enchantments? Interesting. Moment of Defiance. Frothy Horror. Ancient Hydra. Fading 5. This creature comes into play with 5 fade counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a fade counter from it. If you can't, sacrifice it. And then if you pay 1, you can remove a fade counter from it, and it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Okay. Arc Lightning's fantastic. Deep Reconnaissance, a Land Search, Flashback, Noose Constrictor, Wall of Denial. Oh, that's a big wall. 0/8. Horn Mammoth. Wave Apparition. This is Oracles. Oh, this is a hollow too. Here's the battlefield. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is your devotion to blue. Put one of them on top of your library, the rest on the bottom. Random order. If X is greater than or equal to the number of cards in your library, you win the game. So that you mill yourself down in this deck, and then you just win the game. Wrath of Leknif. Destroy all creatures. They can't be regenerated. Untap up to 4 lands you control. For 4? Ew. Really love how all the test cards are just like post-it notes on what looks like other cards. Because I think this one is supposed to be a sliver. Loves Kiss. Exile target artifact or enchantment. Draw a card. Be careful, dear. Some people deserve their curses. Ossification. Card to have. Keeper of the Dead. Feed the Swarm is also a good card to have. Add Router. It's a Phantom Tiger. It's a little kitty. Not big at all. Wait a minute. It's like, it's a 1/0. There's gotta be more to it than that. It comes into play with 2 +1/+1 counters on it, okay. It comes into play as a 3/2. If damage would be dealt to Phantom Tiger, prevent that damage, remove a +1/+1 counter from it. So eventually it just poofs because it gets to 0 anyways. Bonder's Ornament. 1 mana of any color. Each player who controls a permanent named Bonded Ornament draws a card. Picture of Eos. Oh, environmental sciences is cool too. This is another. This is actually I said earlier I didn't own a lesson card. Now I have a lesson card. Nation. This is another card that will get you kicked out of your casual pod. Destroy all non-basic lands. It would be like, don't come back, please. Equipped a creature has flying. 2. Equipped swap. Change this equipment with an equipment card in your hand. Oh. I wonder if that's what they were testing here. I don't remember equip swap being a mechanic. I think I've seen that before. And the last one, refuse to yield. Styes. Your target attacking creature, you gain life equal to its power. Yup. Till end of turn, target creature or vehicle becomes an artifact creature with a base power and toughness of 4/5. You get to draw a card. During rats. Interesting. Virus beetle. Force. Dinosaur. Sense. Oh, that's disgusting. This is just an artifact that you get to play for 3, and then each turn you can pay any amount of mana and tap it, and a target creature gets -X plus X until the end of turn. So you can either use this to prevent yourself from taking damage, you -X them, or you can use this to save your own creatures by giving them the plus X for their toughness. I like that card, actually. Wait, what? Nullhide Ferox. It's hexproof. You can't cast non-creature spells. Pay 2, and it loses all abilities until the end of turn. Any player may activate this ability. If a spell or ability an opponent controls, causes you to discard Nullhide Ferox, put it on top of your library instead of putting it into your graveyard. So it's a 6/6 creature, and at any time you can pay 2 for it to have lose all of its abilities, which means you can cast non-creature spells, and it is no longer hexproof. And then any other player can also just pay 2 at any time to make it lose its abilities. They can get by the hexproof by paying 2. That is a really roundabout way of saying it has ward 2, essentially. But okay. Dinosaur Hippo. Okay, I just want to make this is a legendary creature. I just want you to be a commander just because you're a dinosaur hippo. As companion, your starting deck contains only cards with mana value 3 or greater and land cards. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card for each other permanent you control with mana value of 3 or greater. Interesting. Vampire. Knight of Lost Causes. Vigilance. As long as you are way behind, Knight of Lost Causes gets a +3/+3 and has indestructible. You are way behind if, at any point during this turn, an opponent has 10 or more life than you, controlled at least 3 or more creatures than you, or had at least 3 more cards in hand than you. Silliness. I like that they're thinking outside the box with some of these though, but like, silliness. Okay, last pack. This was fun, actually. Magic cards need to be not so expensive, and I do this more often. But they'd be expensive. Flock. 0/0 comes in with 3+1/+1 counters on it. If it would be dealt damage, prevent that damage and remove the +1/+1 counter. Youthful Valkyrie. Port. Mind Bend. Change the text of target permanent by replacing all instances of one color word or basic land type with another. For example, you may change non-red creature to non-green creature, or plains walk to swamp walk. I like the uniqueness of this card too, because you could really screw somebody up with this. And it only costs 1 island to do. Dockside Chef. Suffocating Fumes. And... oh, cool. A Chandra. Tiefling Warlock. Prosper Tomebound. Death Touch. Mystic Arcanum. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card, and it has a Pact boon. Whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. Interesting. Underworld Breach. And our last test card. Panglacial Shinobi. The Worm Ninja. Library Ninjutsu, so that's different. What does that do? Shuffle an unblocked attacker you control into the owner's library. Put this card onto the battlefield from your library tapped and attacking. Activate only while searching. So it's normal ninjutsu puts it back into your hand. Library ninjutsu means you put it back into your library. And when it deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card. This comes from your library too. Put this card onto the battlefield from your library tapped. The normal ninjutsu happens from your hand. A library ninjutsu happens from your library. That is silly. Don't do that. Don't make that a thing, please. Okay. Well, that is all I had. I got a lot of cards to sort through. And some to maybe add to decks. Or build decks. Yeah. I appreciate everybody stopping by. To be honest, the viewer count where it was most of this time surprised me. Because I'm not doing anything that interesting, so that's cool. Maybe when I get more cards in the future, if I can afford to get full boxes cards, I will do this more often. Yeah. Thank you all for stopping by. I hope you have a good rest of your weekend. See you next time.